Hey guys, so today I want to talk about wealth mindset. And the reason being is that because of the current situation, a lot of people are asking questions about their money and what can they do, and they don't know what's going to happen and how is business going to be impacted. So a lot of uncertainty and anxiety is being triggered. And notice I said triggered. That means that the world outside, yes, it changes, but for some people, if there is something to be triggered, they will be triggered. Not everybody's being triggered. So I want to share with you in this video a little bit of mindset just to understand what's happening, and then a very practical approach on developing that wealth mindset. So we're going to start with a very basic and very fundamental step in developing that wealth mindset. Now, it's not something you have or you don't, you develop it, okay? So how do you start and what you do and what happens? And we'll get to that in a second. But first, what's really happening today? I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have, okay? It doesn't matter where your money is. Even if your money is in the bank and nothing is happening to it. If you have some type of anxiety around money, if you have some fears around money, if you have ideas that, oh, if I don't have money, I will suffer, then you will be somewhat triggered, okay? Now, people get triggered in different ways. Some people get scared and become anxious, and some people are angry because they want to blame someone, and that's fine. Just notice that if it is a habit for you to be triggered in such a way, let's say anger, for example, it did not start because of the situation. It started, let's say, way before, and you might have had already some road rage, okay, when you drive. But now you're not driving, so now it's directed somewhere else. But don't worry about it, and remember, we all get triggered. I mean, no one here is 100%. I haven't met anyone. They say that, the monks are, 100% Zen. I don't know. But what we can do about it is a lot, okay? So when we talk about wealth mindset, let's understand, first of all, what's a mindset before we go into the techniques, the step by step. It's one technique, so don't worry. It's going to be very simple and straightforward, and it will make perfect sense. So when we use the term mindset, what do we mean by it? We mean two simple things. Number one, there is a web of ideas, thoughts, beliefs, let's call them paradigms. We can call them metaphors, assumptions, projections, all that stuff, which you don't need to worry about, okay? And the way they interact with one another is the question here. So really, if you're coming to me and you're telling me I have a challenge with money, I will ask you, so how do you think money works? Okay? How do you think people make money? What do you think happens? I want to understand from you, how does this web of ideas interact in such a way that ends up with you receiving money? And if you're not having that amount of money, what makes you think these people make money? Now, your assumption of how people make money may or may not be accurate, and that's not a problem. But I want to know what's going on in your head and how you make sense of things. So different ideas, different thoughts, beliefs, values, you name it, around money. And then there is another piece, which is very important as well. There is an emotional element, okay? A lot of our mindsets, be it relationships, be it money, be it even physical health, doesn't matter. It starts from experiences. So for an experience to become imprinted or traumatic, if it's a negative one, you need two elements. You need an idea, a thought, and you need a lot of emotion. So the second piece here is emotion, okay? So if you have a lot of emotion infused with an idea or an experience, then the emotion, especially if it's negative, you're gonna try to avoid it for future, experiences. At the same time, you're going to be aware of what caused it, the thought, the idea, and you're going to plan some type of defense mechanism to keep it away, okay? So again, we're not going to dive into what's going on with you. No, you don't need to do that, at least not yet. But you need to understand that for a mindset to develop, you need two elements. You need an emotion and you need an idea, okay, around a specific subject. Because your emotion, let's say, fear, anxiety, anger, whatever, could be around different subjects. So we're talking about one subject here. The other thing is, when we have emotions and ideas, because of the emotion, we have different ideas. And because of the ideas, we have more emotions, So these things kind of, affect one another. So what do you want to do? Here's the simple technique. You need to have a wealth vision. Okay, and this is the first thing I usually start with when I talk to anybody. Okay, if they're having challenges around money, no matter what the challenge is. Some people have a good flow of money, but then nothing productive happens and they end up in debt. And others don't have the flow coming in. So it doesn't matter. Just focus on what I'm telling you right now, which is you need to have a wealth vision. Now, most people will assume a vision is what do I want? Just an idea of what do they want and what do they want to do and how it looks like. That's not a wealth vision, at least not my definition of it. A wealth vision is having a holistic view of life with the assumption or the thought of your finances being in an ideal level. Meaning, so when you write, if you want to write a wealth vision, you're going to spend at least 15 minutes, okay, just writing. And this is excluding the time you need to think or anything. And you're not going to write an essay or papers. No. It's just a couple of questions that target your focus to certain areas of life where you need to put together an idea of how will a perfect life financially look like here? How will a perfect life financially look like there? So it could be in how you feel, it could be in how you carry yourself, it could be in your business, it could be in the way you treat others, it could be in the people you spend time with. Maybe you choose different people. So a wealth vision is really you constructing a reality, a complete reality in your head of you living that perfect life financially, okay? And it does so many good things that I'm not going to begin to, list. Just keep in mind that it does so many good things that you're not even going to be conscious of, okay? And if you do it well, holistically enough, your results are going to show up much faster than you expect, okay? But again, we're not trying here to force it to happen at a certain point or very quickly or any of that stuff. We just want to do it right. And when you're done with that wealth vision, you need to make sure to be aware of how you feel. And this is the most important piece. Whether you use my technique or someone else's technique, the most important piece is how you feel. So by the time you're done with that wealth vision, you're going to read it. Or even without reading it, you should be in a good place emotionally. Okay? And if that's the case, then you keep that wealth vision with you and you read it as often as you can. Now, a little bit of additional tips, you don't have to do them, but this is what I do when I work with someone. I listen very carefully to their answers, and sometimes I ask them to share their wealth vision with me. And it's always good to share it with someone else, not necessarily me, because you might have missed something. Because a lot of times we're so swimming in certain emotion that we got used to it and we don't even notice it, and we think the way we are is just normal. So we're very unconscious. So keep that in mind, write that wealth vision down, and do your best to make sure you capture all different areas of your life. And if you want to write it again to make it more concise in one page, that's very good. Keep it with you and read it as often as you can. And what's going to happen is the thoughts and the emotion are going to become more, let's say, married together and expand, and the emotion will attract similar thoughts, and the thoughts will attract more emotion, will trigger more of that good emotion, and all of a sudden that mindset will grow. Okay, this is the right way of developing a wealth mindset. Okay, so I hope you make good use of this. Share it with someone if you think they can benefit, and like it if you do. And yeah, if you have any comments, feel free to share. And I'll see you in another video.